Okay, guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the UCC Journey into UCC 3 course. Those 6 videos are the most important videos I've ever done, possibly that I will ever do. Those 6 videos are literally the most important thing ever. All citations, all tickets, all going to prison, all bonds, all Federal Reserve notes, all your utility bills, anything you can get from the court, anytime you get sanctioned from the court, forced to pay money into the court, any loans, any debts, literally everything is either an unconditional promise to pay or an unconditional order to pay. So as long as you know how to sign and endorse and exchange instruments, everything is money. So as long as you know how to control and move the money around, you got infinite money. Easiest thing in the world. This is why I don't ask you guys for anything for this course. I don't need your money, okay? I don't need your currency, okay? And I know the naysayers out there are like, well, Brandon doesn't have actually infinite money yet, and how does he do this, and how does he behave this way? Yeah, but in here, bro, I've already got it. I'm just in the process of manifesting that of which I already know is true. And technically, you can say that falls under the definition of delusion. Delusion is only delusion until it's a fucking reality, bro. It's only delusion until it's a fucking reality. Everything started as a delusion. So fuck you. Okay, so moving on. I wanted to show you guys a few more things on this. I'm really happy to see that you survived the Journey into UCC 3 6-part series. That's huge, massive completion. I forget if I showed this during that time, and I'm not going to go through and watch all those videos. So I'm just going to very rapidly show you 18 U.S.C. 8. It defines obligation or other security of the United States. And this is why this whole system operates the way that it does. It operates the way that it does is because none of these things are yours. So UCC 3 shows us how to behave within their little system. The term obligation or other security of the United States includes all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve bank notes, coupons, United States notes, Treasury notes, gold certificates, silver certificates, fractional notes, certificates of deposit, bills, checks, drafts for money, everything. Literally everything. So everything is theirs. That's why we're allowed to just endorse and move it around and without recourse, and it's just like that's the game we're playing. The game we're playing is that it's all their shit, and we're allowed to move it around as long as we know the rules. And I just taught you all the rules in UCC, the Journey into UCC Article 3. So you're all worried about your bills. You don't need to be worried about your bills ever again. Okay? It's not a problem. I'll never worry about a bill or a debt ever again for as long as I live. I don't have bills or debts. In fact, I can't physically have them. Unless even if I wanted a debt, I'm not even sure exactly how I would get one, to be honest with you. So as I talked about on the video before, the 6-part series, everyone should have Federal Reserve access via an OC-10 agreement. You and 6 of your friends or family members should open up. I haven't done it yet. I'm getting there. It's on my list. I'm involved in a lot of litigation. I'm probably going to start creating our own passports. We're going to create our own passport books and our own passport cards. You can see here, here's the passport from Slowjamistan. And it's a full-blown passport. So I'm probably going to get passport books made for the Nation of the Amnesty Coalition, and then I'm also going to make passport cards, just like what is in my wallet from the U.S. That's probably most likely with some other litigation. I just filed another lawsuit. It's actually being processed right now. We're going to go over that in this video in a moment. That's also one of my next projects. Is there's a few lawsuits that are waiting. That one we just found, that 18 U.S.C. 1595, that civil action one, that's going to be, I'm going to be using that. I'm glad I waited to file those. I waited to file those. I said I was going to put that down until after I finished 2.0. I'm glad I did. Okay, so you can sue the government. So I'm going to teach you how to sue everybody else. And if for some reason the lawsuits don't go anywhere and you're having a hard time, you can bring in the government as part of the lawsuit, as an interested party in the lawsuit, by referencing 18 U.S.C. 8. I'm trying to perform on your obligation, sir, meaning person, meaning United States. They are not allowing me to perform as per the instructions that you've given me on behalf of your obligations or other securities. I need your help to force this other party to allow me to properly perform on behalf of your obligations and other securities. That would be the proper way that you would drag the United States Treasury or whoever else into a lawsuit to get them on your side to put additional heat and pressure on a banking institution or whatever to force them to follow the law and follow the rules. Okay? So now we're going to start getting into enforcement. I was going to do a whole nother video on that, but I'm not doing any short videos. You guys are going to hate that. The flow of this course needs to go fast. We're almost to the litigation part of the course. We're basically now entering the litigation part of the course. So come back to me for a moment. So now we've learned everything about nationality, taxation, citizenship, cars, trusts, driving, financials, negotiable instruments, money. So now you have all this knowledge. And now what's going to happen is you're going to go out in the world and you're going to start writing novations and changing up your contracts and sending in negotiable instruments. You're going to perform on your negotiable instruments. Everyone's going to tell you to either go fuck yourself, or they're going to ignore you, or they're going to call you a sovereign citizen, or they're going to think you're crazy. Okay? Now what's going to happen is you're going to become very, very distraught, and you're going to have flat tires in your head very, very rapidly. Okay? Now, it took me a while to figure out how do we get around this. I did Polaroids. I did all this goofy shit, calling them and singing songs and all this shit, letters and going in there and doing all this stuff. It's stupid. And then I also tried to collect information all these different ways. It's very simple. Freedom of Information Act request to collect evidence and information, litigation to force their hand to behave the way they're supposed to behave, okay? And I know that sucks. And I know there's a lot of people, especially women, who maybe they don't want to get into litigation, okay? I understand. But there's no other way to do this. There's all these people that are out there trying to sell you shit and trying to sell you letters and trying to sell you this and trying to sell you that. They don't get anything done, and then when you say, hey, this isn't working, they disappear or whatever, and people are getting fucking scammed and all this. I don't see any other way, bro. I've been looking and trying and doing I will send dick pics. I'll get naked and dance on the top of a train while it's moving. And I'm telling you, I don't know of any other fucking choice. So what did I do? I started walking down the road of litigation. I don't know what else to do. If and I've never seen anyone else do anything effective that will help. So litigation is a complicated, kind of difficult road, as I'm sure you're already aware, and you're already nervous even hearing about it maybe. That's where this course has to go. That's where the first course failed miserably. There's no other option, dude. We have no other options. There's no other roads. There's no other roads we can travel on this. We have to travel down this road. So the remainder of this course is going to be me explaining in the simplest way possible. And I think by the time I'm done talking about litigation, I think you're going to feel a lot better about it. If you're nervous about it now, if you don't want to do it, fine. Stay like that. Stay very reticent about it. It's okay. Just walk with me and at least hear what I have to say on the subject. And then by the end of the course, we're going to have, we've got all sorts of groups set up. We've got all these different support things going on. A lot of people doing a lot of things. And I'm trying to put together as much information as I can on the subject. So I'm going to start showing you now how to do some of this stuff. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you a lawsuit that I just put in the mail I haven't even done a video on it yet or anything. I will be doing a video about it in the future, right? So a utility bill is a bill. A bill is a bill of exchange. A bill of exchange is an unconditional promise order to pay, right? So here's my bill, okay? I crossed out the due date and wrote payable on demand as per UCC 3. UCC 3-114 says that handwritten terms prevail over typewritten and printed terms, right? This is my endorsement. I have a red stamp without recourse, paid to the order of Brandon Joe Williams by, I signed here with a blue pen, Williams, comma, Brandon Joe agent, right? Here's the writing, okay? And I sent this back with instructions and an ovation. This is from a while ago, but it's okay. So here's the novation. I'm not going to give you this document because there's some new stuff. I'll be getting into this soon, okay? So because the document itself has a handwritten endorsement, and it's a handwritten negotiable instrument that has a handwritten endorsement on it, so it's a live, somewhat difficult to replace document because it's an original that they sent me. I sent it registered mail. Definitions. These are interesting. You can check these out. Some of these you may have seen so far in the course. Some of them maybe you haven't. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so enclosed is original bill of exchange dated blank. Encloses the bill of exchange. They are valuable negotiable instruments as per UCC 3-104. They are collateral securities pursuant to 12 USC 412. I've been failing to send in the correct endorsements. I will attach a limited power of attorney. With the definition of good faith. Here's the endorsement. Please process in 15 days. Thank you. And then what I got back from the city attorney was, he called me Esquire, which is hilarious. That's for attorneys at law, not for attorneys, in fact. Enclosed, please find the original documents received or documents are being returned because they do not constitute a claim for damages, as they do not establish your alleged damaged or how the city of Glendale is legally liable. Very simple. But what's cool is they stamped it received. See this? On the right-hand side. Perfect. That's all I need. So this is now evidence. You guys are like, oh, boo-hoo, I got fucking denied. No, I don't look at it that way at all. I look at hell yes. I just got a bunch of evidence. This is fucking fantastic. Okay, you got to change your mind on these things. This is how litigation works. Everything you do builds evidence and builds the case. If you're sitting around, oh, I hope I win. Oh, I hope they acquiesce. Oh, I hope I get instantaneous gratification all the time, you're not going to have a whole lot of fun with a lot of this stuff. If you're always looking for evidence and proof and how to move the ball one more yard down the field, you're going to have a lot of successes and you're going to feel great. I love doing this. I feel great. I've got a hard Rhino 9000 gas station boner pill snorted up my nose all day long doing this shit, bro. I get a, hey, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit letter, and I'm the happiest guy on the planet because that's evidence. Now, here's my lawsuit. Comes now, ens legis on behalf of man, files a complaint. If you guys go, so at this point in the course, one thing I do recommend that you guys do while you're going through the litigation videos is you're going to go to williamsandwilliamslawfirm.com. You're going to go to current and previous litigation. And I would go down and I would start to look at some of these cases, mainly my American Express case, number 4. Now, recap comes from the Free Law Project, okay? And it's called Recap, and it's this little thing that I have installed in my browser right here. You should install it in yours too. It's very useful. You can click on it, and you can search for cases and stuff. Anyone who pulls or uploads documents, downloads or uploads documents from what's called Pacer. Pacer is where you can log in and look at literally any court case, and you can download anything from any docket. All court cases are public, like public arena battles, like an MMA fight, okay? And you can go in and search for a case and download docket pieces, and you can do whatever you want. I teach you a lot about that in the litigation videos that are coming later. So just know that anyone can access this stuff, and I'm going to show you how a little bit later in the course. But for now, on recap, this is something new that I wasn't in the course before, the litigation course. I just did this. You can go to my link on my website right here, the recap link, and you can download without having a Pacer account, without having any account for anything, without having a credit card, without having anything at all. You can come in here and just click, and boom, you can get instant access to every single filing, everything that I did in the American Express case. Now, the American Express case, there's a lot of filings and very little actual exciting things that took place, but the filings will give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to punch through a brick wall that's a lot thicker than I originally thought it was. I thought it was a few feet, and it turns out that it's a few miles thick. So this entire case, all the way down, is me thinking that I'm about ready to punch through a 3 feet, and then finding out, to my dismay, it's actually a 3-mile thick wall. But you're going to see all sorts of really, really great, really important information involving all of this that you won't find anywhere else, okay? This is all completely free, available to download. And as you move through the litigation course, the series of videos that we're about ready to embark on together, I do recommend that you go through here and you do read all of this American Express case. It was thrown out. I am going to be going to the next level, which is the appeals. So keep in mind, I am learning, but I think that you will find this very, very fascinating. You will learn a lot. You will have a lot of realizations, and it will help you dramatically to go through this. I am being dragged through the fucking mud so that you can learn from all the things that I've gone through, basically, okay? If you don't read that, you're going to be dragged through the mud just as bad as I did. So all they did throughout that whole case is just say this stupid shit that has nothing to do with anything about vapor money theory and redemption scheme, and they just kept saying that over and over again, and then they threw it out based on that when I literally never said any of those words. So it says here, plaintiff will continue to send in extraneous and irrelevant negotiable instruments called Federal Reserve notes, digitally or cash in person, to perform on this account while we work out this justiciable controversy in this most honorable court. Absolutely any attempt to degrade the Uniform Commercial Code by equating it or the technology of negotiable instruments to any vapor money theory, redemption scheme, or any other nonsense will be reported to the Supreme Court of the state, the Supreme Court of the United States, as well as to the bar. Anyone attempting to degrade our law will not be tolerated. This is me attempting to prevent what occurred on the MX case. Important note number 3, neither Brandon Joe Williams, all caps, registered trademark, nor Brandon Joe Williams are attorneys at law. Previously, there was a salutation of ESQ period used in the letter back to Brandon Joe Williams. It violates the 13th Amendment for either Brandon Joe Williams or Brandon Joe Williams to use titles of nobility, and it is hereby requested that no titles of nobility be used for either party. And then, boom, we start getting into the good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And literally all it is just naturalization is how I got here and for the jurisdiction. And then, boom, we get into the definition of a negotiable instrument, the definition of an endorsement, the 3-603 about payments, and if the tender of payment is refused, then it applies. If an instrument contains contradictory terms, then handwritten is the master. And then just boom, unconditional promises and orders to pay are, by definition, currency, not money, which is clarified in UCC 3-102. This article applies to negotiable instruments. It does not apply to money. Suing them for breach of contract, saying that, they received this and then they failed to either dishonor the instrument or perform on the instrument. Okay. And then we have defendant accepted above qualified special endorsed negotiable instrument by delivery and became the subsequent holder. Defendant failed to perform and failed to dishonor the instrument in accordance with UCC 3-502. This is a breach of contract and violates both UCC 3-502 and UCC 3-603 payment, right? So all we're doing is just breaking this down for them, right? And then what's the relief? A full refund of all Federal Reserve notes tendered on this account since the account's inception, $2,500. So I'm going way down from my typical 100 million or whatever it is, trying to just get performance on this. And then we got to do a limited power of attorney signed on behalf of all caps Brandon Joe Williams, registered trademark / Brandon Joe Williams, and City of Glendale, permitting City of Glendale to endorse all past, present, and future unconditional promises and orders to pay using the following qualified / special endorsement. The plaintiff is open to making the instrument payable to bearer in order to allow City of Glendale to have ease of negotiation, but only on the condition of it also being endorsed without recourse. Okay? And I'm mainly focused not so much on the litigation side of this, but I'm mainly focused right now on the financial side and how I'm structuring an argument based off of the 6-part series that you just saw. All this like structure and litigation and some of the terminology and breach of contract, we're going to be getting into all of that in a moment, because now we're going to start to move from the financial stuff over to what I call enforcement. How do you force them to get this done, right? And you're going to see in my Amex case, I never get mad. Near the end, I get a little frustrated, but I never get mad. I try to stay very, very calm at all times. You want to be very calm. You want to educate. They're going to play dumb. That's like that appears to be, as far as I can tell so far, it appears to be their favorite tool of the trade. The bar card tool is just play dumb and just play dumber and dumber and dumber. I guess that's, I don't know, effective or something. I have no idea. Okay. So you can get a little bit stern if you've repeated yourself 100 times, but don't get angry or stern until you've repeated yourself over and over and over again. One of the things I wanted to go over with you guys is before we get into, because the next series of videos is all about litigation. It's a litigation course, so it's going to be a mini course inside of this course. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys is in the first course, I talked to you guys about 18 U.S.C. 242. So again, the Title 18 codes are called criminal statutes, and they're called they have no private right of action, meaning you can't take them into a civil court. You can't sue someone for civil damages, right? You have civil and criminal are two different things, but they're really the same, but they act as though they're different, but they're really not, right? So 18 U.S.C. 242 is what I was talking about in the first course over and over and over again, right? And it wasn't until recently when I got my ass kicked in court, they said, oh, fuck you, all your Title 18 stuff is all bullshit. It's got no private right to action. You can't do anything in the civil court. It's only criminal. Fuck you. And they threw it all out, everything. And I go, holy fuck. So I'm scrambling around trying to figure things out, and I rewrote some of the cases, and I was doing this and I was doing that. So the civil or private right of action version of that one is 42 U.S.C. 1983. And this is the one that they use to sue cops all the time. This is the one you're going to use to sue cops, okay? So on the criminal side, you have 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on account of such person being an alien or by reason of his color or race, then are prescribed for the punishment of citizens shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. If there's bodily injury or explosives or fire, it goes up to 10 years. If death results, then they can be imprisoned for a term of years or life or both or sentenced to death. Okay. Now, for those of you that are melanated or of color or black, however the fuck you prefer it, I don't really give a shit. This is what you're going to be using, obviously, but in a civil court, you can't use this. They'll throw it out, and they'll say, you don't have private right of action, right? And I have some tests that I'm doing right now trying to figure out how we can get Title 18 activated through a contractual basis, right? But for now, this is what you're going to use, 42 U.S.C. 1983. So every person who under color of all the same stuff, under all the same stuff, same thing. It's all the same wording. So this is the civil side, and you can sue cops with this. You can sue anybody with this. You can sue judges. Again, I highly recommend that you go the diplomatic route for a long time before you start suing judges. You're gonna get the whole goddamn legal system the whole door is gonna close on you if you start doing that kind of shit out of nowhere. So I recommend that you stay very, very civil. I'm 6 months into a couple of my cases, and almost nothing has happened, and I've been fighting and punching the whole time, and the goddamn train hasn't even left the fucking station. So I don't know what to tell you. If it takes me 10 fucking years, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm having a blast. I'm learning the whole time. So I'm trying to embark on you everything that I have learned over the past several months as best as I can. You're also going to hear from Joey Kimbrough in the litigation videos that we're about to show you. So I'm going to keep making videos. If you're signed up to my email list, which hopefully you are if you're getting these videos, you'll be getting updates on all the new litigation videos and new things happening, and there's going to be new lawsuits, and you're going to be able to read those, and there's more and more people doing this, and we're all reading each other's stuff, and we're starting to create groups, and there's going to be more and more groups that are being created, and this is the direction that we're heading. This is where we're going. We are consultants that have been brought in to fix these various rogue agencies, and we get paid very well for doing it. I keep telling you that. That's the mindset that you have to take on because it actually calms you down. It actually keeps you calm. I'm just a consultant. We aren't even talking about me anyways. We're talking about the ens legis. If you notice, in all my lawsuits, I've never personally introduced myself into the court once. It's always been, I'm just speaking on behalf of the ens legis. What is there to worry about? Who cares, right? So now if we go back, we have this is if a single person or officer deprives you of your rights. Now what happens if two or more persons are operating in unison and they conspire? It's called conspiracy, two or more working together. On the criminal side, that would be 18 U.S.C. 241, conspiracy against rights. It 10x's the damages. Not more than 10 years. Instant 10x, right? Now, on the civil side, you have the same fucking thing at 42 U.S.C. 1985. Conspiracy to interfere with civil rights. So if you have two officers and they're both conspiring to try to take away your rights, this is a way more powerful one that you're going to use. So you're going to sue them both individually under 42 U.S.C. 1983, and then you're going to sue them together under a conspiracy charge under 42 U.S.C. 1985. All the black, melanated, dark-skinned friends that are watching this, take note, because I know that you guys get your rights fucking destroyed. I know that you guys get fucked with constantly. I know the 14th Amendment is the most racist goddamn thing in the world. And I'm showing you what you can use to fight up against that. But I'm telling you, don't do it with a vengeance. Do it as a consultant who's there to fix the system. And do it as a man who's hell-bent on justice, not revenge. I promise you that it will be a more enjoyable ride for you, and it will increase the chances for your success. I understand you're upset, and I understand the system is designed to fuck the black man. I get it. I completely understand. But the problem is that in order to have success, you have to be calm, collected, You have to be understood. I'm just going to say it. You can say it's the most racist fucking thing in the world. You can't go in there and the judge is a 75-year-old white lady. You're going to need to like cool it on the ebonics, okay? And I understand that might sound horrible. I don't care if it sounds horrible. Call me racist. Call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. All I care about is we have to succeed. We have to move forward. We have to have success with these lawsuits. We have to be able to do this. You're going to have to cool it a little bit on that stuff. You dress up nice, shave your beard. If you have dreadlocks, tie them back. I don't know. Just try to. I'm not saying you got to be a white guy going in there. I'm just saying you want to be taken seriously in any area of life. I'm sorry. Welcome to planet Earth. You're going to have to. I'm not saying you got to talk like a white guy, like, hello, my name is Leonard or whatever. I don't know. No, I'm just saying like, just chill, cool it, go in there, be respectful, be understanding, make sure that all your words are easy to understand. Pretend. I don't care. Just fucking pretend for a minute that you're not whatever, whatever it is, or ebonics, or I don't know what the fuck to call it. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm just trying to get people fucking winning, bro. If we start winning, all these cops that are stealing everybody's shit and fucking with everyone's rights, they're going to be scared to death. They're going to be out of there so fast. None of them are going to have jobs. And I know the black guys are the ones who are getting fucking pulled over. And so there was a video I was watching yesterday where they were talking about how they try as hard as they can to upgrade every single stop into either a DUI or drug charges. Okay. And I know that the 14th Amendment and everything that we have, this whole fucking system is based off the racist fucking, piece of shit 14th Amendment. The whole goddamn thing is fucking racist. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you, bro. I'm here. I want you to win, bro. I want you to win. I want everyone to win. I don't care if you're fucking yellow. I don't care if you're fucking Asian. I don't care if you're fucking black. I don't give a fuck if you're the darkest Nairobian fuck that's ever walked the earth. I don't give a shit. What I care about is that if there's a guy, black, white, fucking yellow, fucking red, Irish, I don't give a fuck, that pulls you over and him and his buddy conspire to fuck with you, you need to do everything in your power to look into the background of the judge. If the judge is a 90-year-old white lady, don't walk in there fucking with big baggy jeans and fucking dreadlocks. I don't know. Shave your fucking head. I don't know. I'm just saying. You could save the world, and you can make a shitload of money doing it. We're all just consultants here, man. So this is it. We've got 42 USC 242 on the criminal side, and you can always file. I don't know how this works, guys. I don't have this for you. I'm trying to figure this out. It may take me a while. On the criminal side, if you wanted to go after the officer and put the goddamn police officer in a prison cell, you would use this one. If you want to go after him for civil damages, take his badge away and take all of his money, you're going to use this one. You can't do this one by yourself. You have to go to the DA or whoever the fuck it is, and the state has to be the one to press the charges. Whereas this one, on the civil side, you can do it yourself by yourself. Just pro se. You can go and you can file what's called in forma pauperis. This is not the ideal situation. If you have some money, I don't recommend that you do this. I do believe it lowers your overall position in the courtroom. But in forma pauperis means in the manner of a pauper, and you can get all of your civil suits for free. It's all deferred payments. So the filing fees, the servicing fees, and everything is all deferred to the end. And then when you win, those fees come out of what you win. And from what I've heard, most of the time, when you do a petition in forma pauperis, it's approved. So if you don't have any money, that's okay. You can still go after the officers. You don't need a fucking penny. You don't need a fucking lawyer, and you don't need a fucking penny. and you can go after the officers. Okay? Now, if the officer's pretty cool and the officer's pretty chill and it's not a big deal and they didn't completely rape every inch of all of your rights, the citations and stuff are very, very easy to get rid of. So you need to make a decision. Do you feel that this person is so off the rails that they need to be corrected? If the answer is yes, you should go down this road. If the answer is, the guy was just trying his best and he filed a citation and then you just kind of file in an answer and then poof, it goes away, well, you may want to counterclaim on that, which means you may want to countersue or you may not. A ticket or a citation is just a lawsuit for breach of contract because you violated the California Vehicle Code. That's all it is. It's purely commercial. Okay. So if you weren't involved in the California Vehicle Code, maybe you should sue them and say, speaking of which, we have this thing called, real quick, and then we have the conspiracy, 18 U.S.C. 241. So if you wanted to put these guys in prison for forever, they wouldn't really. I mean, up to 10 years does not mean 10 years. But if you wanted to really hammer them pretty good, you would go the criminal route this way to get them in prison. And if you wanted to go the heavy hitter civil route, you would go this way, which is civil. And for most police encounters, if they call for backup and there's two or more people who are there and they're conspiring to interfere with your civil rights, don't use 1983. It's got way less teeth and they're way less sharp and they're way less deadly. This one is like, 2-inch fangs with venom inside. This one is like little baby teeth getting at you. So, any way you can get this. I mean, you should sue for both. I'm just saying, but you should never forget your 1985. That's your big boy. That's your big fangs. That's your deadly. That's your big ones. Okay. So, informa pauperis, you don't need to spend a penny. Living out of your car, no problem. Sue both officers that fucked with you and make $400,000 and you're living like a king in a penthouse apartment within weeks. 4 weeks ago you were living on a park bench. I'm telling you, I'm not fucking with you. Okay. It may not happen that fast. I mean, God, I mean, almost nothing is occurring in any of my cases and it's been 6 months, but I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. And plus, places like California where it's more liberal, I actually like places that are more liberal because they have more of a tendency to talk about things and, So anyways, I am not personally liberal, by the way. I'm not really either one. I'm not really liberal or conservative. I'm more or less just I don't even know what I am anymore. I think people should just be able to do whatever they want as long as they aren't harming others. If they want to cut their dick off and install a potted plant, well, fucking go for it. I don't really give a shit. Honestly, I could care less. Okay. And if they want to, I know a lot of conservative guys that want to live out in the woods and live by themselves and grow a big beard and grow their own. Well, fine. That I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Do as you will. Okay. Now, with that said, I wanted to get into a subject that comes up a lot when I start talking about all this stuff, qualified immunity, right? So the police have this thing called qualified immunity, and they have this thing called qualified. What is qualified immunity, right? So this is what you're going to need to battle against if you're going to file one of these civil cases or criminal cases, right? So it's something that is used when alleging that the official violated your rights, right? So qualified immunity balances two important interests: the need to hold public officials accountable when they exercise power irresponsibly, and the need to shield officials from harassment, distraction, and liability when they perform their duties reasonably. That's a key word there, reasonably. When it comes to litigation, every word, I would jump all over the fact that there's a word reasonably here. I would just pin on that and hone in on that like you wouldn't believe. The definition of reasonably, the background of the word reasonably. Do you see? When determining whether a right was clearly established, courts consider whether a hypothetical reasonable, it's got a special definition, just, rational, appropriate, ordinary. So there's a whole litany of different aspects to the idea of this. You should look at that, right? Reasonable official would have known that the defendant's conduct violated the plaintiff's rights. Courts conducting this analysis apply the law that was in force at the time of the alleged violation, right? Usually in qualified immunity cases, the plaintiff will first bring a suit under the Civil Rights Act. So look, 1983, see? They're talking about 1983 right here. Civil action against an individual. And then they're probably also talking about 1985, but who knows? The public official will then raise a qualified immunity defense that protects the official from all but clear incompetence or knowing violations of the law if the official acted in a reasonable but mistaken way, right? Qualified immunity is not immunity from having to pay money damages, but rather immunity from having to go through the cost of a trial at all. Accordingly, courts must resolve qualified immunity issues as early as possible in the case, preferably before discovery. So discovery is once you get past the initial parts in a case, which I've never gotten that far yet, which is funny. Discovery is where you can start doing depositions. You can put them in a room and put a light on them and start asking them questions under penalty of perjury. You can put them in prison if they lie and you prove it. You can start forcing them to answer questions, and they have to answer the questions under penalty of perjury, which can put them in prison or sanctions. It's where the data collection begins. I'll talk more about discovery in the series of litigation videos. Qualified immunity only applies to suits against government officials as individuals, not suits against the government for damages caused by the official's actions. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. So you can sue the cop himself, and he could use qualified immunity. But if you sue the police station or the police academy, they would not be able to use qualified immunity. It only applies to individuals. That's good to know. I didn't know that. So there you go. Although qualified immunity, now keep in mind, you can sue a cop, fail, and then go after the police station and the academy and everybody else. All in forma pauperis. You don't need any money. You can start suing everybody on the goddamn sun, moon, and stars. You don't need a fucking penny, okay? Although qualified immunity frequently appears in cases involving police officers, it is also applied to other branches such as legislators and judges. Okay, fine. So let's see here. Right. This shields them from criminal prosecution and lawsuits as long as their actions in question were within the scope of their jobs, right? So the way that I think about qualified immunity, it's all based off their duty, right? So if a cop pulls you over and he fucks with you because he believes that you're driving a motor vehicle, he's under the false assumption that he has a duty because you are driving a motor vehicle. But if you explain calmly and provide evidence the fact that you are not driving and you are not in a motor vehicle and there's no motor vehicle involved in the transaction at all, actually it's an automobile, automobile definition California, you can attack the duty of the officer. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this. What I'm talking about right now is theoretical. I've never done this, but this is what I would do. This is theoretically where I would go with this. He's under the assumption that he has a duty because he's under the assumption that you are driving a commercial vehicle. You've explained it. You've given him documentation. You've attempted to explain it to him. He has it on his body cam footage, which you can get through a Freedom of Information Act request. You've got it on your phone, which you may or may not have recorded. And you told him this is an automobile, not a motor vehicle. You're under the assumption it's a motor vehicle. You think you have a duty because of a motor vehicle. There is no duty, blah, blah, blah. You can say it however you want. As far as I'm concerned, that's the direction that I would go in terms of breaking that qualified immunity. He knew because I was telling him and giving him documentation. He knew that this is not I was not driving and that this is not a motor vehicle. Okay. So if some cop pulled me over and I was very clear and I gave him documentation and he towed my what he thought was motor vehicle, oh, you bet your fucking ass I'm coming, bro. I'm coming for you, your family, your house. I'll be towing. I'll be there. I'll buy a tow truck and start up my own towing company, and I will be in my own tow truck when I come to show up to tow your cars off your property. I'll tell you right now. With my dick out, I'll be jerking off under the fucking, the fucking steering wheel, and I'll fucking have an orgasm pulling out of your goddamn driveway. And I know that sounds very vengeful, but that's not, I don't look at it as vengeful in that situation. I look at it as justice. That's justice. Justice is balancing the weights, balancing what has occurred. You don't deserve to have a badge. If you can't understand basic ideas, and you can't have a basic conversation with me on the side of the road, and I'm being nice and calm, and I'm being pretty cool, and I'm not raising my voice, and I'm giving you all the documentation you need, and you still pull me out of my car. I don't think it ever happened to me personally, but if you still pull me out of the car, and you still take my car, I'm taking everything. I'm garnishing your wages. I'm going to go all the way. If I can garnish your wages for the rest of your life and turn you into my own personal financial sex slave, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay? With that said, though, be kind, educate, be kind, educate, be kind, educate, be kind, educate, especially if you're going to become a part of the Picklitarian race. The definition of a diplomat, I just cleared this up a minute ago before I did this video. I wanted to show you this. It's very interesting. Page 621. Let's see. I know it's here. Diplomacy, right? The science which treats of the relations and interests of nations with nations. Negotiation or intercourse between nations through their representatives. The rules, customs, and privileges of representatives at foreign courts. Diplomatic agent, international law, a general name for all classes of persons charged with the negotiation, transaction, or superintendence of the diplomatic business of one nation at the court of another. Very cool. Nation-to-nation relations, as we've already covered. So when you get pulled over, and especially if you have the plates, the diplomatic plates and all that, you're a diplomat, right? So you need to behave as such, nation to nation. Another nation has pulled you over and has the other nation believes as though there's an issue. So how are you from another nation going to help the other nation realize that there is no issue and that, everything's all good, right? That's how I look at it, right? Case law is the opinion of a court. It does sort of become precedent, but it's just kind of like useful, and it just kind of points things in the right direction, but it's really not all that crazy. It's not as crazy as people think it is. It's cool, and you can look it up, but I hardly even use it. I mean, Joey uses it, so Joey Kimbrough. So I want to go over the Q&A. I want to go over the Title 18. So I have a Title 18 crimes list. So if you're looking for specific crimes, you can go on my Nation of the OneStupidFuck.com. You can go to State National Resources. You can scroll way down, and you can see here I have taken time to break down various crimes and penalties. So if you're looking for a specific kind of crime, you can look here. It took me a long time to build this, by the way. And this is probably the first place I would go. You can also go on Google and type in like, what United States code is there for people stealing from me and blah, 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 whatever, right? But just keep in mind Title 18, except we just found that civil thing just a minute ago. But a lot of the Title 18 stuff does not have a private right to action, so please be sure to use the ones I mentioned earlier in the video. I have not updated this list, I don't think, since I found that. The 42 USC 1983-85 stuff is kind of new. I should go in here and update this. Actually, I'll probably do that. I also have an article here on Williams & Williams. It's all the same information, just in article form. If you go down to list of crimes and financial penalties, it's the same information, just in article form, so it's more shareable. It's more direct and more shareable, okay? So there you go. You can look that up there. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is Let's see here. I want to show you the entire questions and answers page here for W&W. It's very important, right? So you can get more of an understanding of how all this works, right? So are you licensed? Licenses do not exist. I'll explain in detail. If you hire a bar card, lawyer, or attorney, you are a client. A client, by definition from Corpus Juris Secundum, is defined as one who applies to a lawyer. Clients are also called wards of the court. Wards of court are defined as infants and persons of unsound mind. When you become a ward of the court, you become essentially property of the court. A bar card attorney is essentially an administrator of the court's property. A bar card lawyer represents you, which means they stand on your behalf because you are incapable of standing for yourself, essentially, right? You are incapable of making decisions for yourself. A bar card lawyer is called an attorney at law. A non-bar lawyer is called an attorney. In fact, both of these terms are lawyers. Both of these terms are attorneys. Look the terms up for yourself online. An attorney, in fact, is a non-bar lawyer or attorney that acts as your agent. Everyone has the infinite ability to contract. And an attorney, in fact, is a contract-based attorney that has the ability to do specific things on behalf of another party as though they essentially are that person. Essentially, it is simply a better option than being a client because the power of attorney that is written between you and your agent lays out all the particular rules of the relationship and allows you to reserve all your rights. An attorney, in fact, can be used for a son or daughter to take over a dying mother's estate. It can be used for convenience, for example, working on behalf of a busy celebrity, etc. There are many uses, but many people give away power of attorney without completely knowing all the power that is contained in that activity. For example, you give power of attorney to the DMV and they become your attorney, in fact, without you totally realizing it. You saw that before. I was talking about that in the when I got that motorcycle and they tried to get me to sign that. You should be careful what you sign to make sure you don't do this. You can type attorney, in fact, into the internet and find plenty of information. You can also find that you do not need any special qualifications or licenses to be one. Just real quick, if you want to look up the Power of Attorney Act in any area, you can look up Power of Attorney Act, California. And you can look up information there. And you can also look up Federal Power of Attorney Act. You can also look it up at the federal level. So every state has their own thing, and you can look it up by state, and you can look up all the information. Okay. If you are a child or legally retarded, meaning you cannot handle your own affairs on a day-by-day basis, you hire an attorney at law and become a client. If you are coherent and an adult, you hire an attorney in fact or agent. As an attorney, in fact, our job is to assist you in presenting, not representing or representing yourself. By operating in this manner, you become exponentially more powerful as both a plaintiff or a defendant. Each and every corporate state has a Power of Attorney Act that clarifies and defines the usage of contracts to create powers of attorneys in fact. In state of California, a power of attorney can only be done between natural persons, meaning human beings, not corporations or legal fictions. But in some corporate states and also at the federal level, corporations can have power of attorneys with natural persons. I refer to myself as a lawyer or attorney just to keep it simple, but the two designations explained above are very different and very important. Not all legal relationships are the same, and you should be very careful to only work with non-bar professionals. Bar cards are not licenses. They are simply membership cards into a private membership association called the bar. A license, by definition, means permission to do something that would otherwise be considered not allowable. If you ask an attorney at law for his license, he will promptly present to you his private bar card, membership card. They typically don't have a clue. A power of attorney, especially a limited one, protects your rights and allows you to have a higher chance of success in the court system. You explicitly state in the power of attorney that you are reserving all of your rights, which we help you do. The clearer and more transparent the contract becomes, the less chance there is of a degradation of your rights or standing can be assumed. Only that of which is uncommunicated can be assumed. And then I have a little piece of case law here, a little quote, right? And then we have a definition of attorney. To recognize or bring about a transfer, especially of property, to transfer something to another, to turn or transfer homage and service from one lord to another. So you can see here they say there's a joke out there. Attorney means a license to steal. That's exactly what it means. It's a license to transfer loyalty or objects or property. That's what it is. There is no license, but that's, you know. And you can go down this and you can read this more. Are you a member of the bar? Are you practicing in the state of California? Are you an officer of the court? How is it legal for you to give legal advice or be a lawyer? This is all good to go down and check out in detail. And I add to this sometimes when I find new information. Okay. I wanted to show you that. It's a good thing to start with when it comes to all this stuff. And, you know, you don't need to read a lot of my lawsuits and stuff right now, but as you move through the litigation course, you're probably going to want to look at those because it's going to be an important part of the litigation course. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to go over on this introduction to enforcement as well as closing out on the financial side. So the next several videos are going to be the litigation course videos. These were previously shot. So I'll see you guys after we get through the litigation course. I may put a bunch of videos on there. I may even come in here sometimes and even put new videos into the litigation course as I release more. Or I may just do several, and then from that point forward, you have to be signed up to the email list and see the updates in order to see the new ones that are coming out. I don't know which way I'll do it yet. But either way, here's all of the ones that are available as per up to August 18th, 2024 for sure. And then if I add more later or not, we'll see. Okay, guys? I'll be seeing you after that. Bye-bye.